We're live here at DigiMarCon South in Houston, day 2. And I've got Alberto with Effective here. And you guys are one of the sponsors of the event, right? You have
Absolutely.
a booth over there. And also you had what was the guy who spoke yesterday? What was his name?
Warren Five.
Warren Fife. He spoke yesterday. I think he was the second speaker yesterday.
Yes. Words of wisdom he gave.
Lots of words of wisdom. That's what we're here for. Words of wisdom. So hopefully you have something to share as well. But why don't you?
I won't have as many as Warren, Tim, but I'm excited to be here. So, yeah, we'll definitely have a good conversation, if anything.
Yes, at the very least, we'll have a good conversation. So why don't you tell the DigiMarCon audience, who you are and what you do at Effective and what Effective is at the end of the day. I know that you're part of Comcast, big company.
Big, just a little company. Only we own the New York Knicks.
Just a little.
Yeah, NBC Studios, Hulu. Part of that. We have a partnership with them.
Yeah.
And, some Universal Studios. So we're a little player in the game, but we're still learning. We just acquired Telemundo about 10 years ago. So we're a little company just dabbing in technology, but we
dabbing in a little bit of entertainment and content,
data analytics, because we also have the Xfinity portion of the Wi-Fi. We have the home alarm systems, and now we just got into mobile. So like I said, just a small little company dabbing into technology, looking at data and analytics from all that stuff.
You know what it reminds me of? You ever watch 30 Rock?
I love 30 Rock.
So how they're like, oh, GE owns NBC, and then Jack Donaghy's running the TV shows and also the microwave division. Like that's you. You're like the Jack Donaghy.
Yes.
Over at Effective /Comcast / whatever microwave or
it's
consumer
funny.
appliance. You guys made this microphone.
Yeah.
I think.
And it's funny you say that because when I was at prior to here, I was at Telemundo. Yes, Telemundo. And so we were we were owned by GE at that time. Comcast bought us.
Well, there you go.
So you're right, but it changed when
funny.
Comcast came in and bought us. You're right. We came from a company that built appliances, like you said, microwaves, refrigerators, to now a company that dabbles in entertainment.
Right.
So they upgraded everything from our news reporting to the all kinds of just programming that we had. The content, the sports, everything became now just top level because they understood entertainment. And they'd been doing this for years. So. It really changed the company for the better, and we started competing with Univision and some of the other competitors in the market, especially English language broadcasts, to be better media company. And so I think it was really good that we went from GE to, and nothing wrong against GE. Like I said, I was there when we were there, but Comcast just understands entertainment. They understand technology. They understand data. They understand where the market's going. So it was really good for us to make that transition.
Yeah, that's cool. And does Comcast also own Fandango?
You know what?
NBC, I think NBC Universal owns Fandango, but you guys are
all yeah. So if you know what, and I'm still learning everything.
Yeah, there's so many brands.
So you're right. If it is under that, then we probably own it.
I have a friend who works for them in LA.
Yeah,
he's been there for like 3 years. Really likes it though. Yeah. And I'm like, hey man, where's my free movie tickets?
Yeah, I missed the movies. Well, Top Gun's coming out this week today.
Are you gonna go? We're gonna go after this. You guys want to come with us to go watch Top Gun? Okay.
I love Top Gun. I love Maverick.
Did you watch?
Goose.
Wait, have you watched the first one?
Oh, I watched the first one. I meet people now who have never seen.
But have you watched it like recently?
Oh, not recently.
Okay, because it's like number 1 on Netflix right now because everyone's like watching it to like 4 this week. And I watched it the other day and I was just like. I mean, it was good, but I'm just like, it's so 80s and so terrible. like every time he walks in the room with what's her name, the love interest,
Kelly McGillis.
Yeah, every time he walks in the room with her, take my breath away. Like literally every time she's in the room, like they play that song like 8 times in that movie, and I'm like, guys, we don't do that anymore, right? So it's funny watching like an 80s movie, and then like going, it's just missing like. The transitions, and it has like these weird awkward moments and cuts that we wouldn't have in today's film.
You're right.
It's so different.
It's so 80s though.
It's so 80s. Yeah, and I guess he's got riding the same motorcycle in the new one. So
no way, he still has it. Well,
I think so. I mean, well, it's a vintage now.
Well, I'm gonna watch it because in movies you got to suspend your disbelief. So I'm like, how is Tom Cruise still flying planes at what? Because it's been 30 years since they made the movie. So
I don't think he'd be qualified anymore.
I don't think so either. Like, my dad was a military man and he retired. So I'm like, how's Tom Cruise still flying? But I guess it could happen where suspend my disbelief.
We'll find out.
You know what? I'm gonna watch the movie and I'll be totally invested. I'll forget that it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
So
30 years have gone by. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway. So tell us about you and Effective and why you guys are here at DigiMarCon. Obviously, something probably a great product for marketers like myself to get it
Oh,
to get all up in.
absolutely.
So
I
tell us
mean,
about
so
it.
yeah, I'm a retail market manager in Houston, Texas, and
Right,
I'm
where
with
we are
Effective,
today.
yep, which is the advertising component of Comcast.
Okay.
So we work with advertisers, whether it be small business, local business, and even the major national clients out there to help them market. But what we do is because as you said, we own a variety of different components with Xfinity or with Comcast, from Xfinity to the home alarm system to the mobile service to the cable boxes. So we're taking all that data and analytics and we're using it so that marketers like yourself can better target your audience and your consumer. Because in the city of Houston, where you can literally drive an hour in Houston and still be in Houston,
Yeah, it's huge.
you don't need the whole entire. If you're an advertiser in Clear Lake, let's say a certain part of town, you don't need the entire DMA. You don't need the entire Houston because someone from the Woodlands may not drive all the way to Clear Lake. So
Right.
what we can do now is just
So as opposed
basically.
to like you're used to, so typically you'd buy by like entire DMA, which is the entire Houston area. You're saying you guys actually do, you could split it up.
Absolutely. So what we can
Yes,
do is,
that's
so
yeah,
we can narrow
that
that down,
makes TV much more powerful.
and we can do it by zip code. We can do it by demographics. If you give me an audience that you're looking for, let's say for instance, because what advertisers are looking for now is to justify their buy and justify that what they're doing is working.
Yep.
And so with that data analytics, we can get them reporting now that says, hey, listen, we know that your customer was watching in this area, in this demographic at this time, and here's what was working with that schedule.
Yep.
And it helps the advertiser because then they can go back and when they're asking for those same marketing dollars, they're like, hey, well, you know what? Effective is working because here's the report that shows that people were watching those channels and here's how we delivered results for them. So I think that's what we do. That's top notch. I know a lot of companies will go out there and say and do it, but what we use is our first party data. And that means we're not working through those second or third parties, even some of the privacy issues that are coming up. This is our data. This is Comcast's data. And this is the stuff that we have. We're using it, and advertisers are enjoying seeing that feedback from their marketing budget because at the end of the day, people got their own jobs to do, and they want to justify, hey, my marketing job and position, we need this money because we need to constantly support the sales division of our company, and this marketing works.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Well, I mean, from a marketer perspective, from a buyer perspective, I think it's becoming just more and more important to really maximize your budget and really prove that ROI on the spend.
Absolutely.
And hyper targeting is what we're all about. And I think that when digital advertising came out and what we're able to do with Google, what we're able to do with the social media platforms, like that was for the longest time kind of leaps and bounds above what
Right.
TV was still able to deliver. But it's great to hear that TV and what you guys are doing is caught up to that. Because
Yep.
now I think it'll help to create more value for those advertisers, for those marketers who are looking to find that solution on behalf of the advertisers. I mean, myself, like I have, like we talked about Netflix. I have Netflix. I have Hulu, right? So you guys have Hulu. I have YouTube TV,
Yep.
right? And so like it knows where you are, and so like if I think I was watching YouTube TV here, and I log on to it, and it says, "Oh, are you in Houston now?" And I was like, "Yeah." So then I was getting Houston interstitials and stuff like that versus where I live in Austin, which is my home area, right? Then I'll get ads there,
Right.
that are running the in betweens, and so it's cool that you can actually set that up and target that now. It's so much better, and
Right.
and I think marketers and advertisers would be so much more willing to spend more money now that they can do that.
Yeah. And to your point, like you said, you live in Austin, but you're here. So even with the Xfinity side of it, where the IP addresses now, if you're in Houston and we're hitting only people in Houston. So for instance, we're not still hitting you if you went to Chicago, but you live here in Houston. We're following where that original IP address, and it has to be in Houston, so that those people, our clients, are not wasting those dollars, targeting someone who doesn't live in Houston or is not in Houston. So it really just like I said, focuses on us targeting what the audience is for that customer each and every time, on an individual basis. So no more, like you said, we don't have to buy the entire market of Houston. No, now we can kind of, sniper shoot it, where it's like, hey, it's a set target now that we're trying to focus on.
And that depends on like the business type too, right? So like
Absolutely.
if you're like a car wash or something, and you're in, like you said, the Woodlands,
Right.
and then you're obviously don't want to target people in Sugar Land because they're not going to drive all.
And you're wasting those dollars.
Yeah, they're not going to drive 45 minutes across the city to go to your car wash, right? You're going to want to target, or if you have like or on the other side of it, you have a chain of car washes around Houston. Now you can like, oh, let's expand it and get the whole DMA, like we normally would. Or I could maybe just pick that city, and like if I don't have any in Houston proper, but they're in the suburbs,
Yes.
a ring around it, I can pick the ones around that ring.
Right.
Yeah. See, that's cool.
And so think about that. I mean, you're right. So businesses are open up, and I think Houston is one of the top cities that have small businesses opening up. So I don't know all the numbers on there. Yeah, yeah. So, and I only mention this because what we're seeing on the local level is, like, for instance, you talked about a car wash. I met with a client yesterday that sold dog food, and they were like, "We just need dog food in our area of Pearland and Friendswood because dog food, you're not going to drive, not even 20 minutes when you pass up all these Petcos. Like, I need to just focus on my backyard.
Yep.
I want to own my backyard, and that's where I want to be.
Yep.
And for local businesses, we've seen just a major focus and shift that's where they want to spend their dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's other, and I don't want to talk about other medias, but there's a decline in some of the other medias that used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now we can do that with technology, and now we can keep it current. And even people can change their creative. So you may have one selling dog food today, but next week you say you want to focus on something else.
Yeah.
We can change the creative, and we can be up in air.
So super dynamic.
Yes.
Just as dynamic as like building. I haven't seen the platform, but I guess I'm asking: is it just as dynamic and fluid as like building a campaign like in Facebook or like?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So you can build your flights and
all that stuff.
Set them up for different.
And I would say I would add the component, like, I don't know if you bought radio before, but radio uses speed to market as one of their selling points. If you wanted to record a commercial, they could do one and have you on air tomorrow.
Right.
Now we can't move that fast, but we can move, let's say, 3 or 4 days in advance. Like I said,
if we have pretty fast. Yeah, it's much faster than TV.
If we have the creative in house and it's just minor edits, let's say we're just changing a couple clips from dog food to now grooming.
Yeah.
Like, we can put those stuff in and have it ready in 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Which cool. For the advertisers, like, okay, I want to be on. And we've seen this with attorneys that say, for instance, like the Travis Scott incident that happened last year. Let's say someone did a personal injury, and they said, what, I got to go after all these people, and I have to move fast. Yeah, that was scary. As horrible as it is, those people, that lost someone need an attorney.
Yep.
So you were trying to reach those, and we were able to move fast to get those attorneys out there in front of those people, while it was still fresh before those people found an attorney.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's like sometimes this stigma with big media. It's like, oh, like, what are you trying to sell me? What are you trying to sell me? But I think like the way that you guys kind of have it really set up now is it's actually really helping the marketer, helping the buyer to really help the advertiser and help the community, because if you are doing, you're able to target the message to that specific community as opposed to going broad. Like I think sometimes you would turn on the TV back in the day, and even sometimes today it still slips through, and you're like, why am I seeing this ad right now? like who do they think I am? You're like, oh right, the reason I'm getting this hearing aid ad is because I'm watching TV in the middle of the day, like an old person, right? So they used to just do it based off of like behavioral targeting.
Absolutely.
At times and stuff, but now you can do that plus layering in the location and like need, like you said, if there's like some sort of incident or something. So that's cool.
And I would tag along with that is that, I myself, and I know that people in this, specifically at Effective, we don't want to be just a seller to you.
Yeah.
We want to be your marketing consultant because, like I said, we have so much research and data that is at our fingertips. You really just tell us what you need to see, and we can get that for you. Do you want to see the competitive landscape? What other companies in your industry are buying? Where are they spending? What is the seasonality of it? We can dig deep and we can get that information for you. Then at that point we become more of a consultant to you, because now we're telling you what's going on in the market. We're telling you what's going on with other media. Where are they buying? What is your competitor spending? And if you're a business, that's important to you. Who am I competing with? Who am I up against in this market? How do I spend my money? And maybe I should consider some things. And so, for us, that's what we want to be in this marketplace. And that's why, we're here at DigiMarCon, because we want to introduce ourselves to the market and keep putting it out there that we are market consultants for people using our media technology and the disposal we have with Comcast behind us. So.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have that big backing, and it's cool to have the kind of like that spin-off brand that you guys have. And so it's neat that you get to be able to have this solution, but then operate underneath that bigger label. Yeah. But it's important, I think, for where you guys are at to keep up with the cord cutters, and I think you guys are doing that. So that's good. And
we're there with Roku. We're there with smart TVs that are coming out. Yep. We're not letting them replace
Roku is based in Austin.
That's
so,
right. See, so
not too far from where I live.
We're focusing on that. We see the trends that are coming, and we're getting there as fast as we can.
Yep.
And so it's not something that's going to go away. So we're embracing the technology. We're moving there, and we're putting our research and our money behind it, so that we're there for the advertisers as well. And we want to be one of the leading market media companies, on the TV side for any of our advertisers. So we're moving there, and that's we're not running away from it. We see it, we're embracing it, and we're adding tools to our disposal that help us compete with other TV stations that are, like I said, you're saying that the cords are cutting because
cords are cutting. We're cutting away. No
Cutting away.
cords. Yeah. Right on, man. Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well, thanks for sitting down to tell us about what you guys are working on. It is pretty exciting. I think marketers can really take advantage
I hope so.
of what you have. If you're looking to buy TV and looking to take advantage of data and analytics that modern TV advertising has available, Effective is the spot, I guess.
I would say that.
I'm not sponsored by Effective,
we
by
are
the way. I'm just having a genuine conversation
Right.
with this guy. I don't even know who he is. I just met him like 5 seconds ago.
And I'll go back to the '80s movie. We want to be the Top Gun.
The Top Gun.
We want to be the Top Gun of media. I want to be Maverick. So
you're the Effective, the Maverick,
the Maverick,
of media.
Top Gun.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, cool.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down.
No,
really
thank
appreciate
you for
it,
having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the show. I'm going to end our broadcast by clicking here.